Here we go. And I would like to first introduce Patty Cortez with the Upper San Gabriel Valley Water District. I see Director Charles Trevino has just joined us. Good morning, Charles. But Patty, would you like to get started?
You want me just to do introductions or go straight into?
You could do introductions, sure.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. I'm Patty Cortez with the Upper San Gabriel Valley Municipal Water District. I am their Director of Government Affairs and Community Outreach. And I know on the line we have Director Charles Trevino, who is our board member and representative for South Pass. Director Trevino, are you on with your audio?
Yes, I am. Thank you, Patty.
Okay, perfect.
Morning, Charles.
Good morning. How are you?
Good. Okay, go ahead and do your, Patty, why don't you go ahead and do the presentation, and then we'll let everyone introduce when it's their turn.
Okay, got it. Okay, well, I'm going to just share with you a little bit of what's going on. I'm sure you've heard about the current situation that we're in with our water situation. And I'm going to go ahead and give you an overview of how we got to where we are today, and then also what we have done as an agency. And then Arpy is going to give you more of a localized look at what the city has done because of all the actions that have taken place across the state and then regionally. So I'm going to go ahead and share. Okay. And then let me know when that pops up as a slideshow.
You're good. It's there.
Okay, perfect. Okay. So I know a lot of you know about Upper San Gabriel Valley Municipal Water District. We are into our 62nd year of operation since our incorporation back in 1960. We are a member of the Metropolitan Water District. We have about 144 square miles covering 18 cities and 26 water retailers, which makes it a little complicated, but you know, we try our best to be everywhere and cover everybody's needs. And our imported water delivery on a normal year would be about 30,000 acre feet. As I mentioned, Director Trevino representing Division 2, which is where South Pasadena is located in. Quick overview, where does our water supply come from? So generally, we like to use the rule of 80% local water, which is the groundwater beneath us. And then about 20% of that is imported water, primarily coming from the State Water Project, which is up in the Bay Delta, Sacramento region. The picture below is of the Colorado River. At one time, we were receiving water from Colorado very, very early on in our early years of operation. And we are currently trying to work on bringing in Colorado River sources when it is available, just to try to offset when we're in a situation like today where our state water project allocation is not available or has been reduced to critical levels for health and human safety. So what exactly does that mean? So on the state water project, you know, every year based on annual snowfall and rainfall, the Department of Water Resources determines how much water we're going to get down in Southern California. Since the last 3 years, we've gone through an extreme drought. The start of this year was the driest 3 months on record. Going into the summer, it's probably the hottest months on record, especially for this weekend. So all of that has led to us having the lowest 3-year total of state water project deliveries. So this year, DWR allocated 5%, which basically triggers the human health and safety, which means they do this calculation across the state. All of the entities that have rights to the state water project water are then allocated based on population and local water supply sources, to come up with a number of what we would get not only regionally, and then Metropolitan will trickle that down into specific member agency areas that are dependent on state water project. So based on all those calculations, what we were given was just over 14,000 acre feet of water for this year. We are expected to receive that delivery in October, which, if you'll recall the earlier number, on a normal average year, we usually bring in about 30,000 acre feet of water. So that 14,000 is less than half of what we would normally be bringing in. So that, of course, impacts our local water supply conditions. So the chart that you see on my screen right now is the measuring of our groundwater basin. It's usually measured at the Baldwin Park Key Well, which is kind of the center point of our valley. Currently, we are at 179.8 feet is our current elevation. Our historic high was 295, and the last time we hit a historic low was November 21st of 2018, just a couple of years after our last drought. So our groundwater basin is falling. It's thankfully not falling as quickly as initially projected. So that means that conservation is working. So thank you all very much. And thanks South Pasadena for being great partners in helping us promote that message. So earlier in, I believe it was May, April, it kind of all blurs together now. But Metropolitan, because of the state water project allocation, identified 6 member agencies that were going to be impacted by this. And so from that, they developed an emergency conservation plan where they basically gave all member agencies 2 options. You can either go to 1 day a week watering, or you could go to path 2, which was a volumetric rate. And so what that meant was we just had to live within our acreage of water per our population. And as I mentioned, that calculated number was about a little over 14,000 acre feet of water. Because we have, and we are so fortunate to have the groundwater basin beneath us, Upper District, along with Watermaster and the other municipals, decided that we would select path 2, setting our own conservation mandates, which is what we put out following our selection of path 2, that we would ask all of our member agencies and cities to go to a 2 day a week outdoor watering and a 20% water conservation. That action was taken on May 11th when Upper District adopted our own emergency water conservation program. In addition to that, so what we've been doing in terms as an agency, we're under the leadership of our board of directors, we're seeking regulatory approval to try and deliver that Colorado River water, as I mentioned, to have an alternative source of water when state water project allocations are low. I know you may be thinking, you've heard the news about how Colorado River water is in its own drought and limited supply. But this would allow us to bring in Colorado River water that's already in storage within the Metropolitan system. The issue with the Colorado River water, some of you may know, is that it does have a coaga mussel, which is identified as an invasive species. And so what we've been doing under the leadership of our general manager, working with Watermaster, LA County Flood Control District, is to put together a mitigation plan that, one, we would get all the parties on one page in accepting that water, specifically LA County Flood Control District, because they are the managers of our spreading basins, which is located along the 210-605 freeway. So we are at the point where we can now turn that plan over to California Department of Fish and Wildlife. They will be reviewing that plan, and we hope to get approval so that we could bring in Colorado River water in the spring of next year. And that will just supplement the 14,000 that we're expecting to get next month. Additionally, we are putting all of our support behind Metropolitan's Pure Water Southern California. Lori, I don't know if MWD has come and provided you with a presentation on what that program is, but I'm more than happy to coordinate that. I think it's a really great project that Upper District is supporting. It'll be critical to our sustainability future once that project is up and running. What that project does is it will bring in highly treated reclaimed water for groundwater replenishment. The source of that water will be at a facility down in Carson. That Metropolitan currently has a demonstration project, and they've been running a lot of tests and doing a lot of project work down there to ensure that, one, the treatment is there and that they are delivering high quality water, but then starting the groundwork and the foundation to start building that infrastructure to bring that pipeline all the way up to our spreading basins near Santa Fe Dam. So I think projections for this project is about 10 years out. The good news is that the state is behind this project. Very much the governor is looking towards local water supply projects. And so in a recent state budget bill, the governor did allow, I believe it was about $80 million that the state has appropriated as a direct funding source for this project. So that will be very helpful in trying to get this project up and running and hopefully try to get it online a lot sooner, which is a priority for Metropolitan. And then the last thing that we've been doing is really increasing our community outreach and investing in some new conservation programs, which I'll go over. So what we did was we have invested about $200,000 in media advertising, one in developing the messaging that you see here about saying, thank you for keeping our garden gnomes dry, water less today for a sustainable tomorrow. You might have seen this banner driving around town. It was a partnership that we did with South Pasadena to really bring in that message of the 2-day-a-week watering. Our campaign is multilingual, Spanish, Mandarin, and English. We've updated our drought webpage for a specific page dedicated to drought that contains a lot of information related to rebates for businesses, for residents. And then also we have a teacher toolkit, because I know, I'm sure teachers are getting a lot of those questions as well, so that they can have materials for the classroom. In terms of rebates, Metropolitan is the lead on that for us through their bewaterwise.com website. They offer a variety of commercial and residential turf rebates. They have upped their turf rebate to $3 a square foot. And I know things are a little bit different with South Pass, so I won't delve too much into this and let Arpy take the lead on that. And for Upper District, what we've done is we've created a Water Smart home conservation kit. This was an offshoot of our program from 2 years ago, our Water Smart home program, where we did direct install of high efficiency water saving products. And so we have revamped that program to just basically put together a kit so that residents can identify leaks and do quick fixes. Right now we are targeting DAC communities, but we have applied for a grant through the U.S. Bureau of Reclamation. So I hope to hear back from that grant soon so that we could expand that program and make that available to every resident in our service area. Another big thing that we're bringing back this year, and I know we've been getting a lot of excitement for it, is every year prior to COVID, we would host Waterfest. This year, we've scheduled it for Saturday, October 15th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at Arcadia County Park. We're very pleased to announce that Supervisor Catherine Barger is our partner for this event. She saw the importance of bringing this event back. So we will be coming out. We invite anyone who wants to exhibit at our event. We don't charge anything. We just want to make sure that we provide resources for the community. And, you know, prior to COVID, we were getting anywhere between 2,500 to 3,000 people. You know, I'm hoping for at least 1,000, 1,500, but we'll see. You know, it's interesting to see how people come out for events right now, especially in the cities. We saw that over the summer with our outreach booths. We came out to some of our summer concerts in South Pass and in other cities, and it's nice to see the community come out. So we're hoping for a good turnout for Waterfest. We also offer a variety of landscaping classes. They're free to all residents. We've got a couple of them coming up in September. One is called Coming Up Roses on September 6th. That's today, yes. And then another one on September 29th, Maintaining a Great Garden on Minimal Water. These classes, again, are free to all residents. We are happy to partner with the city or the chamber. If you want to offer a specific class to your members, just let me know. We'll be happy to schedule that for you. And that concludes my thing, but I don't know, Lori, if you want to save questions until after Arpy.
There we go. Yvonne had a couple of questions specifically for you. I know Yvonne, do you want to quickly ask your questions? You had something about the 2-week water ban in some areas.
Oh, Yvonne, you're on mute.
Yeah, being on mute is a bit of a problem. There was news yesterday about some sort of a pipe repair that's going to start happening, and water will be restricted for 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm. Yes, that's another announcement that came out of Metropolitan, but thankfully that does not impact or affect upper district service area. So South Pasadena will not have to follow those regulations.
Okay, because I was wondering, we all need to drink water. We all need to use water. And I was wondering, what do you do for 2 weeks?
Yeah. Well, the restriction is you just can't water. If you know of anybody that it does impact, what Metropolitan is asking is that you do not water anything outdoors. You can continue your normal activities inside. You know, they're encouraging people to, you know, capture the water from the showers, and then you can use that water to water, you know, your trees and shrubs outside, but no sprinkler action, nothing outside for those 2 weeks.
But this does not affect South Pasadena.
Correct.
Okay. Now, you spoke of rationing, and I'm wondering how that impacts disaster preparation for putting aside 1 gallon of water per day per person in the household. Do we need to change our strategies, or is that a concern?
In terms of individual preparedness, or are you talking like as a whole, as a region?
Individual, household.
Well, I think for emergency preparedness, you know, usually you have like a gallon of water, you know, like you mentioned, per day, per person. I mean, those don't change in terms of those standards. You know, they're still good to use.
Okay, and I think you already answered my question with regard to gray water. We can use gray water on outside plants as well as indoor plants. Is that true?
Yeah, if you have a gray water system, you can continue using that.
Okay, and I'm hearing people talking about gray water in terms of the shower. Mm-hmm. What about, instead of using the dishwasher, using a pot of water to do the dishes, and then use that water with liquid detergent to water plants?
I think you would have to use organic soap, because I know I've heard some people that have mentioned, when you do that, you can kill your plants because of the soap. So I usually just do the clean water. I usually don't use the one that's mixed in with the soap. That's what I would suggest.
Okay, and then last one was, you talked about the classes that are coming up. And I'm wondering if in a community atmosphere, can classes be conducted at, say, a business on a single day or a single time slot, or at a private venue or residence, as like a conversation or an awareness class?
We are happy to partner with anybody in terms of like a city or a business. If it's an organization, we're happy to do that. I just think under the restrictions that, I think because of the concerns of our employees, that we wouldn't want to do it at an individual residence, but we're happy to do an in-person event, at a city facility, a community facility, any type of public place, because what we want is for other people to come as well. And so we would promote it and we would market it. So we would want it at a place where people would feel comfortable coming to.
Okay, thanks, Patty. Thanks, Yvonne. Any other questions for Patty? Well, she's going to stay on the call and she can put her contact information in the chat, and I have it as well. So if anyone has further questions. And Patty, before I forget, I do want to mention, if you're interested in setting up your booth at the farmer's market, we'll touch base offline, because that's always an option for you.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
And Arpy, welcome. And what's going on with the city with water?
All right. Good morning, everyone. So thank you so much, Patty, for that presentation on what is going on here in California with the drought. So I'm going to dive in a little deeper of how South Pasadena specifically is responding to the drought. So we're going to talk about how we've just entered our stage 2 serious water supply shortage and give you guys a few resources to help you save water. Is my screen showing up? Just want to make sure. Okay, great. Okay, so first I'm going to go over real quickly the declaration of our stage 2. So we, as Patty had mentioned, we are in an extreme drought. We have had the driest season on record. We've had Metropolitan declare their water shortage emergency condition, then Upper San Gabriel Valley Municipal Water District. And so now it's our turn. So June 15th, City Council approved moving from a stage 1 moderate water supply shortage to stage 2. So what does that mean? We used to have 3 watering days per week, and now with stage 2, what that means is 2 designated watering days per week in South Pasadena. Your days are based on the address. So addresses ending in an even number, water on Mondays and Thursdays. Addresses ending in an odd number can water on Tuesdays and Fridays. So there should be absolutely no, and just so there's no confusion, we're talking about outdoor watering of lawn, landscape, and vegetated areas. We don't mean to cut down any kind of water use that you're having or using indoors. This applies to everybody, residents, businesses, everyone in the city. There should be no watering on Wednesdays or over the weekend. You also have, with the stage 2 comes an obligation to fix leaks, breaks, and malfunctions within 48 hours of notification. So if you have, if you get some kind of a notification, whether it's a door hanger or, staff members out there or something like that, to notify you, let you know, hey, you have a sprinkler that's leaking or anything like that, you have 48 hours to fix that. There is also limits on filling ornamental lakes or ponds. So filling or refilling those is prohibited, except to the extent needed to sustain aquatic life. So we do have these exceptions. So any water that's necessary for public health and safety, including fire suppression, obviously we're not going to restrict that. If you have any use of recycled water, we don't have recycled water here in South Pass, any purple pipes, but if you are recycling water, that's okay. The use of water by commercial nurseries and growers to sustain plants and trees and shrubs, anything that's intended for resale, they are not subject to the restrictions. Hillside areas recovering from fire, landscape irrigation zones that exclusively use low flow drip type irrigation systems. Those are also exempt. Watering or irrigating by use of a handheld bucket or similar container. So if you're carrying your gray water bucket and taking it outside, that is totally okay. You can do it any day of the week. And then lastly, if you are watering for a short period of time just to in order to repair an irrigation system, that is also okay, as well as maintenance of any type of vegetation, such as including vegetable gardens, fruit trees and shrubs that are intended for consumption. There are some other water conservation requirements. These are actually permanent requirements that are in effect regardless of what water stage that we're in. So we've had these rules before we started the stage 2 declaration, and we'll have them even after, even whenever we go back. And those are watering between the hours of 9 a.m. and 5 p.m. is prohibited. When you're watering, you want to make sure you do it early in the morning or in the evening to make sure that we are reducing evaporation. Any excessive water runoff from sprinklers or irrigation is prohibited. So if you don't know what runoff is, it's basically if you are watering your lawn and your sidewalk you see is getting soaked, that is runoff, and that's not okay. So we want to make sure that we are adjusting our sprinklers so that they are pointing towards just the area that we want water, our landscape. We have watering during periods of rain. I don't think we have to worry about that anytime soon. But if it is raining, your sprinklers should be off while it's raining and 48 hours afterwards. Washing down any hard or paved surfaces is prohibited. Please use a broom. You can't hose down your driveway. Vehicles can be washed, but they have to be washed with a hose that has a shut-off device. So you can't have your hose running continuously. You have to have that ability to shut it off. Watering is limited to 15 minutes per station per day. And using water to clean, fill, or maintain levels in fountains, ponds, or similar structures is prohibited unless it's using a recirculating water system. So we have another statewide ban, and this is specifically for non-functional turf irrigation, and this targets commercial, industrial, and institutional properties. And the state has defined non-functional turf as being turf that is solely ornamental and it's not regularly used for human recreational purposes or for civic or community events. So for example, if we have our public parks, that is functional turf, right? Because that is used for recreational activities. However, if you have a business and you've got a nice, pretty little lawn in front of your office with a sign of your business, that turf that does not serve a function cannot be watered at all. So brown is the new green and it's totally in. So we highly recommend or encourage or, we'll probably enforce and make sure that if you do have non-functional turf, that you are not watering it. So just a quick thing here on how the city is enforcing this. So, we want to lead with education and awareness as much as we can. So our first attempt, if we do see any type of violation of the water restrictions, what we'll do is we'll leave you a door hanger. And that will basically just let you know, hey, we witnessed some kind of a violation of the water restrictions. Maybe you're watering on the wrong day, maybe you're watering for too long, or you have runoff, or you're watering between 9 to 5, we'll indicate that on the door hanger of what's going on and give you some resources on how to correct that. This is not meant to, shame anyone, or, no one's getting in trouble or anything. This is just our way to first raise awareness and let you know what's going on and give you a chance to fix it. After that, if we do see repeated violations, then you may be subject to fines at that time. So community members can also report any observed violations. So if you have a neighbor that you see every day who's out there and hosing down their driveway or doing anything like that, you are welcome to let us know about it, and we'll go out and take a look and investigate and just provide them with education and let them know that what they're doing is a violation of the restrictions. So you can do that by either calling the Public Works Department, or you can also email us, waterconservation@southpasadenaca.gov. Okay, so now I do want to let you know that we have many water conservation rebates that can help our commercial sector conserve water. So I'm going to go through those quickly. So there are 2 types of rebates that our businesses can take advantage of. We have one, as Patty had mentioned, through the Metropolitan Water District rebate. These are rebates that you would apply directly on their website, socalwatersmart.com. So if you want to know the application process, the requirements, eligibility, all of that, you can find that on their website. It's pretty simple to navigate. What we do with the Metropolitan Water Districts here with the city is they have their amount for the rebate. So for example, you'll see on the first row there in the table, for a premium high efficiency toilet, MWD offers $40. South Pasadena then co-funds that rebate. So we will chip in an additional $260. So you can get $300 off a premium high efficiency toilet, which is pretty generous. And you'll see I have just a few examples here of the rebates. There are so many more that you can discover on SoCal WaterSmart, but just to give you an idea, you can get another $300 back on urinals. You can get $100 rebate per station for a weather-based irrigation controller. If you've got any restaurants out there, connectionless food steamers are $970 per compartment. And lastly, we've got the turf replacement program, where you can get $4 per square foot. So really, we are amping up our co-funding for these rebates, and we hope that encourages businesses out there to go out and apply. I wanted to highlight really quickly the turf replacement rebate. We all know that the most water that we use is outdoors. That's why the restrictions are outdoors, right? So there is an awesome program with MWD where you can get $4 per square foot for replacing your turf. Here are some examples. Excuse me. Here are some examples of what that might look like. So you'll see here at the top pictures, the before and the after, where you have like a very water thirsty bush, and afterwards you have this very simple, pretty area here with some mulch and flowers, which uses way less water. And you'll see at the bottom one as well, the first picture, you have a nice thirsty lawn. Look at those sprinklers that are blasting. Look at all that runoff. And through the turf replacement program, you can convert that to what you see here in the after. Very nice water efficient plants with mulch. Like I said, brown is the new green. It looks incredible. It's hip and trendy, so get on it, everybody. It's great. To help you out with that turf replacement program and other water conservation, the city also offers its own rebate programs. And you can find the application, the requirements, and the details on our website at southpasadenaca.gov/rebates. So the ones that we're offering now are water efficient plants, up to $1,200. You'll see that last fiscal year we were offering $600, and we've doubled that to $1,200. This is one of the requirements for the turf replacement program. So not only can you apply for the MWD rebate, but you can also then get reimbursed for the plants that are required for that rebate through the city. We also offer native trees, $100 per tree, and a drip irrigation conversion for $300. Was something new this year we have is high efficiency dishwashers that you can get $500 for. We are also working on a gray water rebate. We haven't launched that one yet. We're still putting that one together, but we hope that we can have a rebate that also has an educational component to it. So hopefully we can get some workshops out here in the city on just gray water 101 and what is the different types of gray water systems and things like that. So keep an eye out for that. We don't have it ready just yet, but hopefully soon we will have that one launched as well. So if you have any more, need to find out some more information, go to our city website, southpasadenaca.gov/water conservation. That webpage has all the information on the restrictions, everything I just mentioned here, and much more. We do have a frequently asked questions section on there as well. So if you are curious about, well, how can I use this or how can I do that? Check out our website, and 90% of the time your question will probably be in that list. But if not, you can always shoot us an email at waterconservation@southpasadenaca.gov, and we would be happy to answer your questions. Again, we have the MWD website on there, socalwatersmart.com, and for the city rebates, southpasadenaca.gov/rebates. Anyone have any questions at this time?
Joan has a question, Joan?
So this may be the size of the city, but I live in Pasadena, and we get, I know we have our own water and power department, but we get 60% of our water resource from MWD. That's my understanding. And as of September 1st, we've been governed, or we've been told that we're to water no more than once a week. So are the cities working together to, hopefully, resolve this whole water issue?
Yeah, certainly we are really taking a look at what we're hearing from other cities. I know that the water sources for different cities vary. So here in South Pasadena, we're not that dependent on the MWD water. We do have our groundwater here. So it's a little different for every city, but of course, as part of the upper district, we all want to work together and at least have the same messaging out there and the same resources that we can provide our residents and businesses.
I've got a question.
Yes, sir.
First of all, thank you, Arpy, for your presentation, and Patty, you as well. Very, very informative. These proposed additional rebates for 2022, 2023, when is it anticipated that they will go into effect?
Oh, I'm sorry. They have been in effect since July 1st. So
okay.
Yes, at the same time that I'm sorry for not mentioning, but when the city council approved going to our stage 2 declaration back in June, this water conservation program with the additional rebates was also approved along with it. So they are effective.
Thank you for the clarification.
Right now. Yes.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Any other questions for RP? Well, thank you. And next we have Jennifer Giles with Clean Power Alliance. Jennifer, would you introduce yourself and get started? Thank you.
Hello, my name is Jennifer Giles. I'm with Clean Power Alliance, and we are your local electricity provider in South Pasadena. Can you all see my screen? Or just double check there.
Yes.
Okay, great. All right, so we provide electricity to the City of South Pasadena. I think most of you all are aware of us. We have been your electricity provider for residential customers since 2018. And in February of this year, the City Council decided to change the default rate for commercial non-residential customers to 100% green power. So that means that accounts are going to be automatically opted up to 100% green power. And this is some background on Clean Power Alliance, who we serve. So we're the largest community choice aggregator in California, and we serve Ventura and Los Angeles counties. 32 public agencies make up our alliance. And we have about 1 million customers across the territories. And this gives you a snapshot of who the different cities in our alliance and the rates that they are on. So we have 3 different rate tiers: lean power, clean power, and 100% green power. And as you can see here, we have now, I think it's a total of 21 that have changed their default rates to 100% green power. So it's great to see that. It really demonstrates environmental leadership in the community by doing that. So that means 100% clean, renewable energy that is carbon free. So customers in South Pasadena still have a choice, even though the default has changed to 100% green power. Customers can choose any of our rates at any time. The lean power rate is our lowest cost rate, and that is made up of 40% clean power, mainly large hydro, and then clean power is 50% clean power. And then we have our 100% green power, which is primarily wind and solar, and that is carbon-free energy. So by making that change, the environmental impact is pretty significant for the South Pasadena community. You avoid 16.3 million pounds of greenhouse gas emissions in the community by using 100% renewable energy. It's like taking 7,400 cars off the road, and it has the impact of planting 122 trees for 10 years. So basically the trees sequester carbon, so it's a great carbon capture mechanism for carbon in the atmosphere. So more trees is generally a good thing. And it's at a minimal cost for customers. It typically, depending on the customer's electricity load, it amounts to about $5 more per month for your typical small business to be on this 100% green power rate. And it just further cements South Pasadena's leadership on sustainability and environmental initiatives. So the residential customers were all started on our 100% green power. So this, when our service launched, the residential customers were on 100%. So this just aligns the commercial customers with the residential customers in the community. And we've had a very minimal opt-out rate with those residential customers. 95% remain on the 100% green rate. So the change happened in February of this year, and you should be getting notices. I think the first one just went out 60 days prior to the default change, which goes into effect October 1st. And you'll get ongoing communication from Clean Power Alliance. Customers can call our customer support center and request that they remain at 50%, the 50% clean power rate, which is what you all are on now. The commercial customers are on currently. So that's still an option for customers who don't want to be defaulted to 100%. And it's just a simple phone call to this 800 number on the screen. Or you can go to our website and do it there by entering your account number. So even after the default change takes effect on October 1st, customers can make a change with their rates at any time. And it just goes, the change goes into effect based on the meter read date. So if you were to call today and your meter read date is September 15th, we would put the change in the system, and then on September 15th, the rate would change. And this is this shows you kind of your typical customer bill, what it would be, the comparison to SCE, and then the different costs on R3 products. So for a typical customer, for small business customer, they pay $194.33 on the lean power rate. Clean would be $196.66, and by going up to 100%, you can see here it's about a $5 difference. So it only bumps it up to $203.66. And for customers who, we have some larger commercial customers who are on the larger commercial rates, and those customers can request a custom comparison because they don't, our online rate tool doesn't actually work with a few of our rates. So there's a way to just request a custom comparison, which we can do for you. And you know, Clean Power Alliance is committed to the community and developing programs that support the community and environmental initiatives in the community. And you've probably heard a lot from electricity providers, SCE, the utility, in the past few days about reducing usage, participating in demand response programs to relieve stress on the grid due to the hot temperatures and people using their air conditioning units to stay cool. So we do have a couple of demand response programs. Our power response program for customers who have EV chargers and battery storage, or behavioral demand response, if they can do some things with pumping stations to reduce usage during that peak period of 4 to 9 p.m., which is when the grid is particularly stressed due to the demand. So we do have a couple of ways for commercial customers to participate in those demand response programs. And we have information on our website, and you can always reach out that way to learn more about them. So to help customers understand this, what's happening with the default rate change, we are doing quite a bit of outreach to the community. There's 2 mailers going out. We have a Green Cities page, which I'll show you here. And we also have, for customers who want to stay on the 100% green power rate, we have a recognition program. That's our Green Leader program. So we put you on our directory on our website. We'll send you decals that you can display in your storefronts or your place of business. Other marketing collateral as well. And then we're doing in the coming year, now that the pandemic, we're doing more in-person meetings. We'll be doing an event later in the year for our green leaders. So I really encourage local businesses to join that program and get the recognition they deserve for being on 100% renewable power, because you do have a choice. And as a business, you're choosing to be on 100% renewable energy, and that does make a really big difference in the community. It also helps businesses meet their greenhouse gas reduction goals or sustainability goals that you have by purchasing 100% renewable energy from Clean Power Alliance. So the September postcard, these are just some mock-ups of what they look like. This is what customers are getting, explaining what's happening with the default change and the impact to the bill. And then October, there will be another postcard thanking residents for the switch to 100% green power. And it's they'll be in 3 different languages: English, Spanish, and Mandarin. And this is an example. We have videos that we display for our communities, or that they can use. And then we have fact sheets explaining what is happening within the community with the default change. And the CPA staff is available to attend community events and to talk about and publicize the default changes. And then we have a link to, it's a dedicated link to our green cities who have made that change to 100% green power. And there's a link here, which is available also in some of the materials that have been going out to communities. So that is a summary of what's happening with South Pasadena and the default change to 100% renewable energy. And I'm happy to take any questions you might have.
Thanks, Jennifer. That was really helpful. Any questions for Jennifer?
I don't have a question, but we're paying a little bit more for Clean Power Alliance, but yet we're saving. And I'm not confused because I don't mind paying more and saving. But where are we saving?
You're not really saving, no. So
All right, that gets
yeah,
it.
so I mean, what I showed that chart that compares. So if you were with Southern California Edison, you would be on their bundled rate. That's the default rate. And our equivalent is the lean power rate, which is our lowest cost product rate.
And I understand that because I see my bill
Okay.
and I see that Edison is considerably higher than our CPA. And it does pick up some of the difference, even though the whole bill is outrageous. But as long as, I guess the bottom line is we truly are helping the environment, and that's where we're looking at. It's not so much, it's not so much the additional $5.
Well, that's right. And so another thing to keep in mind, so with the SCE is our billing partner. So you're still paying SCE for transmission and delivery. And I know those rates have gone up quite a bit over the past year for transmission and delivery. So when you get your SCE bill, the Clean Power Alliance portion is usually about 1/3 of the bill. So I like to remind customers of that because sometimes they get their SCE bill and they think it's all Clean Power Alliance, but we're only about 1/3 of it. We're just providing the electricity. You're still paying SCE for the transmission and delivery, which has gone up quite a bit. If you're doing an apples to apples comparison of if you were to go to SCE for electricity generation, their 100% product, they do have one. It's oversubscribed. They are not allowing any more customers in that program right now. So if you wanted to use 100% renewable energy, Clean Power Alliance is your only option right now. And it's, and yeah, so it's a pretty minimal investment for getting 100% renewable energy, an extra $5 a month.
Yeah, I recall back probably 10 years ago on one of our projects, we had put in a couple of $100,000 for solar power. So I went to one of those Edison meetings, and the one thing that they really did remind me of, no matter what you put into it, you'll always wind up having to pay Edison for power. And that's the one thing for sure. And then it went from, I think, 30 kVs down to 14 for residential. And so we just wound up giving the owners a credit of the couple $100,000 because it didn't pencil out. But thank you for all of the information and support too.
Yeah, sure. You're welcome. We're excited that you all decided to change the default. You know, by cities doing that, it definitely spurs demand for more renewables in the community. And we're trying to get more renewables into the grid mix, you know, faster than SCE, so that communities have that clean power that they're looking for.
Well,
I got a quick question for
go ahead, Gary.
Jennifer. Yeah, hi. Thank you for your presentation, Jennifer. And my question is there a resource that you can point us to so that when either ourselves or members of the community say, where do I turn to help understand what I'm reading on my Edison bill? How do we respond to that? Is there a resource for helping us figure out what we're looking at?
Yeah, we do have information on our website that's about understanding your understanding your bill with diagrams. And I think that our team is updating some of those materials. So you can always go to the website. That's a great resource. You can call our,
Cleanpower.org.
yep, cleanpoweralliance.org. Yep. And there's an understanding your bill section on the website. And we also have an FAQ that gets into a little bit more about, you know, what are you paying SCE for versus what are you paying Clean Power Alliance for? You can contact the customer support center, and then I can provide my information in the chat too. So I work with our municipal and commercial customers on their bills and accounts. So I'm happy to answer any questions that customers might have. And I mentioned we do those custom comparisons. So customers on larger commercial rates, which could be like a high school that's considered a large commercial rate. You are on a different, the online tool is not going to necessarily work, and it might be more than $5 a month. It depends on the load profile. And so I can help with that to help you do those custom comparisons.
I appreciate your courage in putting your email address in the chat. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. So far, it's been manageable with all of our cities. So I'm happy to do it.
Again, thank you, Patty and Arpy and Jennifer. I am recording this. We'll get this loaded up on our website. So if anyone wants to review this, or anyone that wasn't able to attend, I've got a couple people that were interested but were not able to attend this morning. So I'm sure we'll get some views on that. And as you mentioned, their contact information is in the chat, so you can reach out to them. A couple quick things before we close. The October Shop Talk, we're planning on doing that in person again, finally, after almost 3 years at Mike and Ann's. We'll get more into information and details on that when it gets a little closer. A couple upcoming events. On October 3rd, the Chamber's having its annual installation and annual meeting. We're having it at a private home. It's going to be a really lot of fun. We're trying to make it real interesting and fun with music and entertainment and some stuff like that. On October 29th is the Fall Arts Crawl, so mark your calendars. And Lincoln from Oneonta Congregational Church has joined us because there's an event tomorrow he wants to very briefly mention.
Hey all, thank you, Lori. Yes, tomorrow at 6 p.m. we're still on for Pray for Schools. We're aware of the excessive heat conditions. We're going to be talking about how to address that today. But as of right now, we're going to bring a nice chest full of waters, and we'll pass the mic, and it'll be short and sweet. So on the front step of the high school here in South Pasadena, we're going to gather for our 9th annual event, and we're just going to pray. We'll pray for water. We'll pray for rain too while we're at it. You know.
Thank you. Thanks again for everyone for joining us. Have a great day. Stay cool, drink water, and we'll see you in October.
Thank you, Lori.
Thank
Thank you,
Lori.
everyone.
Thank you.